In this video, I'm going to show you how you can complete your adventure tomes and get all the collectibles, as well as where to find all the Mokoko seeds across every different map in the game. So we're going to be using a special resource to get this completed, and the reason why you want to do this is when you press N on the keyboard or you open up your collectibles or your adventurer's tome, you'll be able to collect and complete certain tasks to add to your completion percentage for each continent in the game. And at every 10% you pass, you will get a specific reward, a one-time only reward, and some of these can be mounts, like for Arthurtine. So there are several ways to do this. You can complete your main quest, which you're going to do anyway. There's a bunch of collectibles that you can get from killing monsters, finding it as quest rewards, or even buying it off the auction house from other players. These can go up to like 20 times, like where you have to find 20 versions of the same thing until it like counts as a collectible in your thing. There's also cooking, like finding specific ingredients in the open world on the map, or you can actually buy them from certain merchants and just craft them at the chef to have them unlocked as a collectible in your tome. And then you have the vistas, which are those spyglass things that show you an area of the map. These are quite easy to find. I'll show you a map now that's going to show you all the locations. You can do your dungeons in hard and normal difficulty to add to your completion. Then there's specific monsters that you'll find that have a yellow icon that looks exactly like one of these over here. And when you kill each unique type of monster with these icons, it will add it to your completed here. It will have like a yellow check mark to show that it's completed. And then there's specific bosses like world bosses or calendar bosses that you can only do once you reach a certain high level at max level. And then there's things like hidden stories that you find in the game that give you stories and tell you kind of like a little bit of a plot, and you have to find them in order. So if you find like a story that has 3 parts, you have to read part 1 first, then part 2, then part 3. If you don't have part 1, you won't even be able to interact with part 2 or part 3. And then, of course, you have a very difficult one, getting your rapport up with different NPCs in this continent. You can see for like Arthurtine, there are 5 NPCs that you get to get your rapport up, your like heart up as much as you can to max it out to get your percentage there. And also finding all the triports and activating them so that you have them unlocked as well also counts for your percentage of completion. Okay, so now you're going to go to the link in the description. Now, this is the Lost Ark database. This is a website made by somebody or some people who are really going to help you. So what you're going to do is when you click this link here, you can actually go to guides at the top of the screen. You click guides. And then from here, you're going to actually find what you're looking for. So if you're in the continent for Rethramus, you can find everything there. I highly recommend using this guide. It's very nice. For example, if I go to Rethramus over here, you will see it will show you all the different rewards you get for each 10%, and then it will also start in the zone in the way that you're going to play. So looking at Prideholm, for example, you can see a bunch of different things, right? So let's start it with the Mokoko seeds. So the Mokoko seeds here are outlined in this red circle with a little white outline around it. You'll see some of them are not even on the map. Like when you go here, you can actually walk through the map. Like at this exact area of the map when you get there, you can walk through here in the complete darkness and you'll find the seeds. It's really weird, and this game does this quite a lot. You'll also see the next thing we're going to be looking at are these green little icons over here. For example, remember we talked about the hidden stories. So here is a 7A, right? This is story number 7. So if I go back to my game, for example, I go to Rethramus, story number 7 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will be the sunflowers for my love. And back on the map here, so 7A means it's the first part of the story. You can see 7B is not actually here. We'll have to find 7B later on over here in Log Hill, and then you'll have to come back to Prideholm to read 7C to actually have that hidden story counted and achieved. For example, number 1 here is going to work completely easily. If it doesn't have an A or a B or a C at the end, it's going to be completed the moment you read it. So 1 is going to be completed as you read it. The viewpoints, those vistas that we talked about, you can find in the blue color over here. You can see viewpoints, and you'll find one right at the tree that you'll find it very early on at the beginning of the game, the telescope that's going to show you an overview of what Prideholm looks like. The yellow ones are going to be those side stories and side quests that you're probably going to pick up anyway. You can see it by a yellow exclamation mark on your map usually as you're playing the game. So those will just be hidden stories, or not hidden stories, but like side quests apart from your main quest. The next thing we're going to talk about is the food. So we're talking about the cooking and all those kind of things that you need. So for example, it lists one merchant over here. You can see the icon is going to be, he's going to be by this circle over here, not by where like the merchant's listed over here. It will be at the circle here by this potion vendor. You'll probably be able to buy something here by a merchant, and it will count towards one of your cooking achievements, or it will give you an ingredient for cooking at the chef, which you can see is listed over here. So here's the chef, and you'll see number 4 over here here is an ingredient that you can find, and you can actually loot this over here, and you can take it to the chef, and you'll be able to craft something at the chef that you will see will have like you'll be able to craft it kind of vibe. And then when you craft it, you can just add it to your collections, and that's how you're going to be doing that. Okay, so let's look at Log Hill, because there's one last thing I want to mention is the monsters and world boss, right? So now this one is in a kind of like a orangey color. You can see there's like a 1, a 3, a 1 again, 2, 3, 2, 2. So these are specific monsters that I told you about earlier that have the yellow mark, like the kind of like a yellow star mark above their head. And when you kill these, you'll get like a blue scroll kind of thing above your head to show you that it's been added to your collections. If you are looking for the world bosses, it will still have the orange icon. Instead of saying hashtag number 2, it will say world boss or calendar boss, depending on whether it's a world boss that anybody can do, or a calendar boss can only be done by players who have a certain eye level, because all of your attacks are just not going to hit, and you're not going to be able to actually tag the boss. So don't waste your time if it's too high eye level, or you're trying to do a calendar boss when your eye level is too low. And the last little tip I want to mention is that there are some that are going to require specific things. Like, for example, you'll start here probably, and you'll see it says Forest Minuet. And you'll be like, what on earth is this? This is a song. You got to press F2 on your keyboard, and you got to play the song that's called Forest Minuet. You only unlock this towards the end of the game, so this one over here you won't be getting in early game. And the same thing happens around for different things, like kill nearby monsters, and a hidden jump will appear on the ground that you can use. The same for dungeons and everything, where there's like little gimmicks, and you'll see it kind of explains here, just kill nearby monster. You can just read on the screen, and as you're progressing to the next place, like for Toxiclaw Cavern, which is a dungeon, you'll be able to see where you can go. So I hope you find this guide helpful on how to find all the Adventure Tome collectibles, as well as the Mokoko seeds, and a general guide for like collecting everything as you're playing the game. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.